Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all here. Don't forget, thumbs up and thumbs up down here or somewhere like that would be really good, really good. And share and tell everybody and all those things that I really, really would like you to do. We have got our card kit, our first card kit for February. And it's a real bargain one, this one. So there are limited stocks. The people who are subscribed to it are already on their way and hopefully may even be with you tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. Depends on how good our post is at the moment. But either tomorrow or Tuesday, hopefully, you will already be getting yours. And there's limited amount of what is left over. But do go and grab yourself a bargain if you like bargains, because we have got the background collection Dotty Scallop celebration die from Sue Wilson. It is a couple of years ago. You may well have got it. If so, go and grab it, and then you can make a really, really lovely card with it. It is, as I say, a background die. So it's one of those ones that has no outer cutting edge. So just this inner bit of cutting edge, which is really handy because then you can make various different sizes of cards with it, which is great. So you'll get that. You will also get a sentiment stamp for free. Now, these are from a pack which was all included. Let me just bring that in to show you. From the Chic Floral Everyday Border Sentiments. Oh, sorry, bring that down a bit. From the lovely Phil Martin, from again a few years ago, because he's not been with Creative Expressions for a while, but they were too good to ignore. And I do have some of the whole range there available over on the website, but you will get a brand new, obviously, free one. They will vary. You've got best wishes, happy birthday, birthday greetings just for you, thank you so much, and with love. There is also another one in the set, but I didn't put that into anybody's kits, and that one is sorry I forgot. But all the rest of them will be at random in your kit as well. So you may well have something that you would prefer to use, but for a border sentiment, so a long one, this one is ideal. You will also get in your pack a 7x7 card blank. Now, I have made the card in both 7-inch square and also 6. It works well both ways. So if you are a person that prefers a slightly smaller card, we've covered that for you as well. But you will get a 7x7 card in your pack. You'll also get a piece of black card, a piece of coloured card, and a white piece. Now, the coloured card will vary in colour. So you may get one that's red, blue, green, raspberry, sherbet. Just trying to think of the different colours that are in there. So they're a variety. Aqua is another one. If it is a colour that you really dislike and don't want to use, fine. Just swap it over for a colour that you are happier with. I would recommend that the colour that you choose to use is a really nice bright one. And the reason for it is that we make the card in such a way that the coloured part of it is really subdued. So if you'll see what I mean in a minute, if you use a very pale colour, then you're not going to see it very well. And so I would suggest nice strong colours. This one is called Iris, and in real proper light, if you see what I mean, it's sort of like a cross between a blue and a mauve, a bit like an iris might be, I suppose. So that's the choice that I'm going to use there today. And as I said, your card blank and all of that for under £11. So you cannot go wrong, I think, with that. So let's show you what the cards were, or are, I should say, and then I'll show you how you make them. Really, really simple, but very effective. So this is what we're going along the lines of. So you've got this, a two-way design, because you can have your scallops facing that way as opposed to this way. Can you see what I mean by the difference there? These scallops go that way and these are sort of upside downish or whichever. They might be upside down, I don't know. But again, very, very simple. Down to you where you put your sentiment. Up, 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 up. You can see I've put it there. These are both on a 7x7 card blank. Doesn't show up quite so well on a blank, white, I should say, background, but you can see that that is lovely. But equally lovely is this one, which is made on a 6x6 card blank. So the measurements are going to be exactly the same. You could adjust them, but they are going to be exactly the same. So it really doesn't matter whether you want to make yours as the 7-inch, which you've got in your pack, or if you prefer, you could use the 6-inch from your own stash. But it just gives you that different option if that's the sort of thing you like. I, as always, have put some foam on these layers, but you could equally just send that completely flat, and again, it would just pop into the post like that. So the only thing that you haven't got, sorry, that I am not giving you in your kit, is glue and possibly a bit of foam, if that's what you wish. So without further ado, let us get some measurements done. So I'm going to bring in my black piece of card first, and I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And my first piece of card that I need to cut out is going to be 14 centimeters squared, which is about 6.5 if that's what we're doing. So 14 by 14. Okay, I'm going to keep that bit because we know, or you will realise, oh, can't see it. It's lost. There it is. I'm going to keep that bit to one side because I do need a piece which is 14 centimetres by 4 centimetres. So I might as well cut that now whilst I'm doing it, actually. So let's do that as well. So that's just from the bit I trimmed off. So that's 14. Now I've just said 14. Oh, what are you like? This bit should be 14 and this bit shouldn't. Wait a minute. Scrap that. Pretend I didn't say that. Pretend I didn't say that. 14.5. Just checking that you were listening. So about 5 3/4 if we're doing it like that. Do beg your pardon. So 14.5 by 14.5. But I have to say that this bit was still right. This bit still needs to be 14 by 4. So those two are going to pop to one side. Then the piece that I had left over, which is of the black, I'm going to cut 3 strips that are the full length, like I've got it still. So that's the full length of my A4 there. And I'm going to cut them into 3 centimetre pieces, 3 of them. So I'm going to use my 3 centimetres from this end because it makes life easier for me. So I'm just going to go 3 centimetres over, chop that down, 3 centimetres and 1 more. 3 centimetres. Okay, so that is all of that. Now, whilst I've got this out as well, this is now my coloured piece, and I want to get 3 more pieces, which are just the shorter length, so that's 21 centimetres, and go by 3 centimetres again. So this is going to give me my coloured strips. And as I said, I think when you look at it, the bolder the colour is even better. Now I'm going to cut just 1 more that's 3.5 centimetres. So that one's slightly bigger, but then I want to trim that down. Now with all of our kits, I'm trimming it down to 14. With all of our kits, the measurements and all the bits and pieces will be sent out in a separate email to you, as well as being on this video, so that you can always refer to it whenever you want to. You can print it off, you can do whatever you like with that. And then finally, the bit of cutting is my white piece of card. I'm going to cut 1 square that is 14 by 14. So that's slightly smaller than we had before. Let's put that to one side. And then I'm going to grab hold of this bit as well. Again, 14, we've got it 14, but I want just 3 centimeters from here. I'm going to be, yeah, I am going to do it. Just having to think. This is to stamp our sentiment on. Now, if you would prefer, you could stamp your sentiment onto this piece of card, the full piece, and then trim it down. Depends on whether you're confident on stamping or not, but it needs to be about 3 centimeters. Okay, so that's for actually stamping our sentiment on. So that's all our bits cut. So let's just put it out. We have got our background piece of black card, which is 14.5 by 14.5 centimeters. Then we've got a white piece, which is 14 by 14. Then we've got another black piece, which is 14 by 4. Then a piece of coloured card, which is 14 by 3.5. Piece of white card, which is 14 by 3. And then we've got some strips of card. We've got 3 in black and 3 in our coloured card, all of which are just 3 centimeters wide, and the whole length, which was 21 centimeters, of our A4. So you've got plenty there. Okay, so we now need to get our lovely die and pop this onto our white piece of card. So as I said before, these background dies are cut all the detail in here, but not an outer edge. So you need to make that outer edge. And depending on how wide you cut your piece of white card or whatever colour card, will give you a border around it. So when you put it together, you need to place it so that it is as near as central in your piece there. Tape that down. And if you can imagine, if you decided you wanted the this piece to be bigger, what you would do is you wouldn't enlarge the pattern that's there, but you could give yourself a wider border. So this size of the card that I've done here for you is suitable to fit on both, as I said, the 6-inch and the 7-inch card. But if you preferred, you could make this border slightly wider and then all your measurements up a little bit. But the whole idea of a kit is just to give you a sample of a card, an idea to do, and then you run with it however you wish. I mean, all of the cards that we've done here today could easily have flowers and things of embellishments. So, you know, the sky's the limit with that one. So I'm just going to run this through my machine. Just bear with me whilst I do that. Just set that off. Now I'm going to use, when I put this all together, I'm going to use spray glue, but you can also easily put on your glue. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I'm just waiting for this to come through, and it depends on whether you are a spray glue fan or prefer not to, as to how you put your glue on. So when you take your thing out the machine, card out the machine, just check that you have got all of that pattern. Sometimes you need to turn it round a bit. I'm now working not with Gemini anymore at the moment. I've got my Pro Cut, which I'm really pleased with. So I find that it is very successful. So that's what I'm using. But whatever machine that you're using, that is what you just need to check, that everything has come out of there nicely. So I'm just going to take that off. Try not to get it absolutely everywhere, although it will, won't it? Let me just flick out the worst of it. Just doing all those last little bits. So I need to take the tape off for a start. So I'm just going to take out all the last little bits. So as we said, we can use this in 2 ways. or 3 ways. You could even put them on the side, couldn't you? But there's lots of different ideas. You can make your own coloured backgrounds, random coloured backgrounds. I'll show you again all the different ideas that I've got in just a second that you would be able to use. Just making sure that we go through all these. Now, as I said, I'm going to spray glue the back, but you could just squeeze out a blob of glue and then simply get a little sponge dauber if you've got a one, or even a little bit of sponge, and just sponge onto the background. Because the one thing that you really want to do to make your life easier is to put a good layer of glue on the other side with what we're going to do. Let's just take all these. There's always one, isn't there? Oh, I think I've got them all now. Let's just scoop these out of the way. So as you can see, we've got a nice even border all the way round, but if you wanted, you could have doubled it. So this one, as we said, this white piece was 14 centimetres, but if you'd have done 15, you would have just got a wider border all the way around. And then you just up your sizes as you go, which gives a nice effect. So I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to spray glue this. Oh, I can see there was a bit there that just 1 second. So I'm going to pop that down on there, and now all that is really, really sticky, obviously. And now I'm going to take my strips. So it doesn't matter which way. You could even go along like that. I've gone diagonally, or you could go the other way diagonally, depending on however you want to go. But as long as you start off with making sure that whichever colour you go for has, shall I go for a coloured piece first? Yeah, let's go for a colour piece first. That it covers all of this area, which it will do. So I'm just going to put it right over. I'm just trying to get it straight if I can, and just press that down. Now you can see that I have got a piece that is out at the moment. It's not got anything stuck on it, and whilst there's no pattern on the other side, I will put a little piece of card. Doesn't really matter what colour, but I will put a little piece of card over it, because otherwise that bit, as I've done the spray glue, will be sticky, and I don't want it to stick anywhere. So I'm then marrying this up. I'm making sure that I absolutely get those lines together, so that when you turn it over, you can see that these are matching the lines together here now. And then I'm going to go coloured again, and I'm just needing to now make sure, as I'm getting wider and wider, that I've got my piece of card hanging over the edges so that it covers all of the little pattern. Butt it right up to that one that's above it. Now, as I said, I'm doing it in a diagonal, but you could do straight lines, which would look really nice as well. Oh, I thought I saw a little pattern there, but I haven't. Again, butt that up to there. This one right up to there, and then finally this little bit here. And as you can see, there's a tiny little bit that's left there. So then when we turn that over, you can see that you've got that lovely pattern showing through. Now, we can either take it to the guillotine again and chop the ends off, or we can grab a pair of scissors. If I had my big lovely scissors, that is what I'd be using, and I have. I'm going to go from the front then and just cut off these pieces. Okay, and that little bit there. Turning it round, but if you prefer, it might be easier for you to cut this if you're using a guillotine. So whichever is your preference there. I've got these long scissors, if you see what I mean, big scissors, which I like for this sort of thing. They're not so easy to cut like this if you're doing just little scissors. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I just want to, doesn't really matter what colour, I'm just going to pop in some little bits there just to finish that off. Doesn't matter that that's the same colour, just so that I've got little bits so that they're not sticky really. So just trim that there again. So you, as I said, you can do that with any colour. They all look different. Ideal again for the masculine type cards where you don't want lots of flowers and whatever. You can put your own sentiments in. The sentiment that you've got has got like a lovely little rose on it, but you may or may not want to use that anyway. It's just an idea. So that's going to go straight onto my black border. So let's put that down. Still using my glue gun. It's been sitting there a while. Still impressed. Still reeling from the price. I just realised that I haven't even looked up to see if anyone's asking any questions, so I hope I haven't lost any now. That's the trouble with some dyes, isn't it? You get some Jeanette saying that she got this dye and never used it. Now there's no excuse. No excuse at all, Jeanette. Get that dye out. Get some really fancy colours and things that, let's see, if I had that behind it, can you imagine how lovely that would look? So this is just an old piece. I seem to use this all the time. And that would look really nice underneath there as well. All the vibrant colours like I had last week too. So here's my card blank. And as I said, you can see a grubby mark. Let's get rid of the grubby mark. That's better. That's going to go on there. I will put a bit of foam on because I can. As you do. I'm going to put black foam on because I can. Oh, I can see Helen said her glue gun came. Yeah. Well, as I say, I know it is expensive, but I'm quite impressed because I do have, over the more recent years, a lot of problem with my thumbs, but particularly this thumb. And this action that this is action with these fingers as opposed to the thumb. So I can move those fingers all right. That's not a problem. So that's what you're squeezing in order to get it to work. So I think that's probably why it feels more comfortable for me. But as I said, it isn't a cheap option. And, you know, some of the squeezy bottle type things, some people find them really, really good. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. They still really hurt my hand in order to do them. Now, I'm going to have my scallops going that way. I'm going to place that down in the middle of my card. And I'm going to get my sentiment. So I bravely got my sentiments here, or my sentiment strip cut already. Which, as I said, is a bit brave, really. Because I've got to make sure I got it right now then. So just going to peel off this, and I'm going to ink it up with VersaFine Clair because I'm not doing any colouring. Not VersaFine Clair, VersaFine I should say. Not going to be doing any colouring or anything. I just want it black, and because we've got a lot of black on the card as it is, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Just pick that up. That will, of course, pick the card up as well. Not a great deal of room for me to squeeze in a magnet, to be honest. I prefer not to when I've got something like this because it's rather, it could, I can't think of the word, get in the way, whatever the word is. It could get in the way, and I'd rather it didn't get in the way. And if I do mess it up, I've got plenty more card there that I could do if necessary. So just going to bring that over, Press down lightly. Doesn't need to be given the kiss of life. Just press down. Make sure we get it in one if we can. You can see. Isn't that beautiful? So as I said, you will get a random one of these. It isn't going to be this one necessarily. There are 6 different ones. And, you know, they are just, if you wish, really. You've got, I'm sure, plenty of sentiments that you could use instead. Let's just pop this back on. If I can. Goes around that way. And then just, as I say, they're not a new one from Phil. They were when he was with Creative Expressions, which is quite a few years ago now. Is it about 5 years ago? 4 maybe? Not sure. But some of my favourite stamp sets that you'd ever done those. The sentiments ones. Just going to put that, trying not to press too much over the black in case it's still a little bit damp. And so that's straight onto my coloured piece. Now, because if you recall, they're 14 centimetres long, all of these pieces, they will all meet edge to edge, which is what we want them to do. But we have got a little gap, top and bottom, to fit in. So I'm just doing that there as well. I would say about the gun, I don't actually sell the gun myself, so I'm not advocating the gun in any respect otherwise. It's just that it was for me, and so many people asked about it, really. I'm now going to turn that over because I want to put foam on there. I'll put a couple of bits, seeing as it's Sunday. And we're more or less done, really. So it's a really easy one, suitable both for 6, 7 and maybe 8 inches cards, but you will be getting a 7-inch card blank in your kit. The kits for non-subscribers, so anyone buys today, will be going out this Wednesday. Give me a chance to get them together. I think I'll go down the bottom here. So I'll just, not down the bottom, down-ish down the bottom. And as I said, a different sentiment would make it look different, but also you could put a smaller sentiment in there or one to one side, put some flowers on here. You could really make it look very different. But I think, let's just bring in these other cards, that even the different colours. So that one, was, as I said, was more the purpley colour. It does show a little bit different here, but not hugely. But that's periwinkle blue, which you may have in your kit. And then you've got the red, which I think looks really lovely. Well, they all do. You've got the red one. And then you've got this, which is the soft lavender. And it is on a 6x6. So you haven't got that big border of white card, which these ones have, but looks equally, if you hadn't seen them, looks equally lovely. Okay, so if you are interested in grabbing yourself one of these kits, you need to go over to the website, which is maximumcrafts.com. Just looking for, don't have the card that tells you where you're going, but you know where to go. Maximumcrafts.com is where you will find the kit. So the kits are available from now, but they are limited. The people that have got them on subscription, all of subscriptions have been sent out, both in the UK and international ones. They are all on their way. So hopefully they will be dropping through your door, as will the written instructions to everybody when in a day or so. Get a chance to get those for you. They'll be in your email. And of course, the people that have subscribed, you will also see your reward points popping into your reward accounts as well over the next day. I will get them done for you tomorrow. So that's it for today. And as I said, that is our February card kit from Maximum Crafts. I will be back on Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. And I will also be back, as always, next Sunday, again at 6 o'clock. And I will be having another Maximum Craft exclusive launch for you then. So that will be, at 6 o'clock. Big stocks, so you should be fine. But it would be good to see you there if you can make it. Anything else to tell you? Anything else we need to know? I don't know. Yeah, those people that have already got the kit, get them out and have a go. And people that are getting the kit, cut the same 3 centimetre strips, just like we did. Do everything the same, but put them that way so that you can see them going in the long ways like that instead of diagonally, because that would look great as well. So thank you very much for coming and joining me. Really lovely to see you all. Hope you have a good week. And I will see you on Wednesday. I was just thinking that a certain lady said that she wouldn't be up yet, and you are. What's that all about? I expect it's too hot in Australia again. So, Sam, have a beautiful holiday. I think you're away anyway. I think that was what the case is. Have a lovely holiday. And for the rest of you, take care. Have a great time and see you on Wednesday. Thanks very much. Bye.